Tom and Sam for cultaholic.com.org.net. How was Marble Mania?
Just .com. Just cultaholic.com. That's the website.
.biz. .nz. How was Marble Mania last night?
It was good, mate. It was good. It was really fun. We had the first ever Marble Mania Rumble, which was great. It was very confusing, very hard to follow. But, next pay-per-view weekend, it'll be back, won't it?
You did Marble Mania Backlash?
That's what we did. We did Marble Mania 2 Marble Lash last night. And
so
then...
Marble Lash 2 next?
No, it'll be Marble Mania 3.
Oh! You're gonna get to Marble Mania 38 before WWE at this rate. I tell you what. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic for Sam Driver on a Thursday. Anyway, here's your wrestling news. WWE has reportedly signed a released AEW star. A former AEW champion is out of action. And do you want some scrapped plans from that Throwback SmackDown? We'll get to that in a little bit. A former AEW star could be bound for WWE. Who are we talking about, Sam?
We are talking about B. Priestley, Tom.
Oh, now this comes from The Observer. Let me just get this morning's.
Hi, Dave.
There he is. Cheers, lad. It says, although because of WWE rules, nobody can say anything until the company announces it, but B. Priestley is almost surely headed to NXT UK. I think she'd be a solid fit at NXT UK, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I think, B can only bring, everything she's learned in Japan back over to NXT UK and have it be a positive, I believe. So it's great, but it's not helping my anxiety around the whole WWE global expansion situation. It's starting to feel like, especially with NXT UK, I don't know, I figure when there's more local scenes around the world with NXT kind of sitting there, looming in the horizon, and I think more people will start to understand it, but it's kind of, it just feels like it's at some point soon, there won't be a single British wrestler that isn't working for NXT UK or WWE in some sort of way. The
Amazon Disney that is WWE. It's like, I feel like once, as you say, once there is that territory, because we are going to get to a point where we had a territory system run by WWE, aren't we?
Well, the only way you can destroy the territories and the indies is to buy them all up and run them yourself as indies and territories. So
that's great advice from the McMahons. That was from a newsletter, I believe, written by by Vince McMahon. Looking over to the other side for AEW-shaped news. You obviously got the idea that he may not have been the full ticket after falling off the cage during Mistletoe and Wine just the other week at AEW. But Chris Jericho a bit more banged up than we thought, according to The Observer. Although because of that's the wrong bit. Because of Tom can't read, he read the one before. Observer says Chris Jericho suffered a dislocated elbow in the fall off the cage at the end of the Mistletoe and Wine match. Can't say what it's called. We'll get demonetized. I presume he's working. Big friendly giant. I presume he's working Stadium Stampede based on the television angle. Otherwise, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Oh. I thought that was a work, the old arm in the splint thing. I thought they were selling the injury. Just
the thought of my elbow being dislocated and just the rest of my arm just dangling, just hanging. Oh, no. I mean, it was a hell of a fall, as you said. Cushion be damned with the people that were complaining about that, and there were people complaining about that. It's, how is he not going to get a little dinged up from that? It's just, we've got to be glad, I guess, that it's not something more serious and that he will be back and he will hopefully be working Stampede. And I don't know. But, we just got to send our well wishes to Jericho and hope that he recovers quickly.
I mean, obviously, the glory being with a Stadium Stampede match, if it's a cinematic style, you can hide if he's injured. You're going to
be able to cheat some shots in a way, and you're going to be able to do... Yeah, it'll be all right.
AEW television taping-flavoured news. Let me get this. It's from The Observer as well.
Oh, Dave. You've got to just... There's stationary boxes, and he's got boxes there. Just use them.
Next week on Hoarders. AEW, according to The Observer, announced television tapings for the 5th of November, Gunpowder, Treason and Plot, in St. Louis. Also, looking ahead to January the 12th next year at the Lakefront Arena in New Orleans. Expected they're going to shortly announce other cities like Rochester, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, Newark and Philadelphia, all running a little bit earlier in the year. The notable thing is for the St. Louis show, it's on a Friday night. It's been told that that is the plan, which may start in St. Louis. AEW will be doing television tapings on Friday nights prior to pay-per-view shows. There's going to be a live show the week of Full Gear, and most weeks it'll just be Wednesday night shows, but the Full Gear is scheduled for the 6th of November. So they're going to start, and they're doing this for Double or Nothing. There's an AEW show planned for the Friday night because they want to get people who are traveling to AEW, give them some bang for their buck. So they'll have a Dynamite taping and a Dark taping on the Friday. There's a Fan Fest on the Saturday, and then Double or Nothing on the Sunday. But this surely presents a big old problem when you're going to be taping the post pay-per-view show before the pay-per-view in front of roughly the same crowd.
Well, I mean, not always. If you think to situations like NXT, the post pay-per-view show would be like after a takeover. I remember when I was grading it, you'd have, say, one little angle that doesn't quite give away the situation, and then you'd have maybe like a little match that doesn't quite give away the situation, but then you will have, little bits interspersed of recap and backstage stuff that the live crowd probably isn't going to see. So I imagine, they're going to be very smart with how they handle it. And it does make a lot of sense in order to capitalize on the fact that they're going to be there all weekend anyway. They may as well make it an experience for the audience, and they may as well, turn it into something that's a lot bigger than just the pay-per-view itself. So I feel like there'll be a clever way of handling it. I think there'll be a lot of backstage stuff and vignettes shot and stuff post-pay-per-view that the crowd will not see, and we'll probably see a lot of unrelated matches or some TV feuds blow off that were kind of either lower on the pecking order on the pay-per-view card itself or just were absent altogether.
Back in February, AEW star Sammy Guevara copped a bit of heat from Impact Wrestling. It was a dispute between them and Sammy. He ended up refusing to work a few singles matches on Impact on TV. There was talk of him winning. He wanted to win the X title. They were like, I don't know. And he went, fine, I won't do any of them. Guevara spoken about it to Wrestling Inc. He said, a lot of stuff was said, but it's just business at the end of the day. I know I didn't really say nothing out there, and all this stuff, the reports that came out, was only coming from one side. Some of it wasn't true. Really don't want to comment too much on it, but it is what it is, and I still wish everyone the best. We're all friends, and we're just trying to succeed at the end of the day. I think Guevara would make a great X Division champion at some point.
Oh, for sure. And I think he handled that well there in terms of, it's business. Business is business. And while stuff is going to leak out, it's important to respect the fact that business is separate to a lot of stuff. And if it's private stuff that, the public aren't privy to, then maybe it shouldn't be quite getting thrown out there by sort of, people close to the situation for things to start building up in the rumor mill. But, it's just one of those things. Wrestling is a strange and cruel mistress from time to time, and words are exchanged and blows are exchanged, and it can get a lot messier than what it got here. So let's all just be thankful that, everything's all right and everybody's still friends and they're all kind of on the same page.
Everybody's having a lovely time. One more bit from The Observer, ER Sam catch. Scrapped plans. Good catch. The paper's changed colour. Scrapped plans from the Throwback SmackDown, the hot mess that was the Throwback SmackDown last Friday. What were they doing, Sam? I
got really angry about this on the Saturday news, but it's just, we're going to have a Throwback SmackDown. Okay. Give me the Oval at least. Give me the Oval and the big metal ramp. It's just sat there doing nothing in a warehouse, and you are in one venue. You have all week to set it up, and you could just do it nice. And no, instead, we got a non-existent era of SmackDown to be nostalgic for, with a random neon entrance that completely predates SmackDown. If you're going to do a throwback show, do it properly. It's not like NFL teams get their throwback jerseys and just go, 1946 is the one we're going to go for this one. We did play in blue, but instead we're going to make it electric green.
Absolute hot
It's about
mess.
honouring the history of the show itself.
And
you did it with Raw. You charged all of those smarks to sit in the Manhattan Center, but you at least had the letters and the venue and the ring. Oh!
If you've got an opinion on it, Sam, come out and say it. Don't be shy. There was
Sorry
one...
for derailing that there.
No, mate, happy to be derailed. I'm like A-Train. There was one bit of throwbackness that thankfully got thrown back. What was that, Sam?
Yes, so there was apparently a Pat McAfee taped segment. Pat McAfee taped segment where he would pretend
He's not antivirus software.
I know. I don't know why my brain went there. Where he would pretend to be a younger Vince McMahon. It was eventually cut out of the show. There were rumblings about this on the Saturday. I remember us mentioning this on the news that it was cut, and I was like, it's a bit of a shame. But apparently, the reason why it was cut was that Vince himself did not feel it was up to scratch. He felt that it was more stupid and comical in like a wrong way. It was more of a parody rather than a parody of Vince himself. Vince is notoriously a bit funny about his character and about himself. Like back before they could even convince him to be on TV as, the Mr. McMahon character, he's like, nobody wants to see that. Like it doesn't, like, why would people want to see me? Even now to this day, when he has to go out and address the audience, it's apparently still a bit like, oh, have I got to do this again? Like, people don't want to see this. And it's like, Vince, you're the most fascinating part of this entire puzzle. Just get out there. Just do it. But, if Vince didn't feel it was up to snuff and if Vince was the one, being parodied, then I think it's only fair that he's the one that gets to say, nah, maybe not this time.
If you'd like discussion on Vince McMahon being a parody of Vince McMahon, I encourage you to listen to the Cultaholic Classic Raw review on a Tuesday.
Just hang on. If you'd like discussion of Vince McMahon being a parody of Vince McMahon, I encourage you to look at everything from 1997 onwards to this day.
It is a deep joy. And if you'd like if you'd like actual throwback SmackDown goodness, then listen to the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review with Matthew, Greg, and myself. There's a new episode tomorrow. We do a quiz about the Nitro Grill. Hey! What more do you need? Some other podcasts. Have a lovely weekend. Sam, you doing anything nice?
I am seeing Steph, and I think I'm going to go for a pint with a mate who I've not seen in a while tonight, old Sparky, because he's had a baby recently, and we've not seen him in ages. So if you're watching, Sparky,
congratulations on Sparky having a baby. Just Sparky having the baby.
Well, Sparky and his missus.
No, Sparky had the baby. This is the film Junior starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Stay safe. Love you, Sparky.